Welcome to the Cinematic Boys podcast. It's your host, Dakota, here today. So, Bilal and Sammy are not here for today's episode, but I got three great guests on. So, if you guys are looking, Brandon and Craig are back for this episode. But we got a new guest. Sandra's on here. What's up, Sandra? How are you doing?
Hey guys, how are you? Happy to be here. Happy to talk the Oscars somewhat.
But Brandon, Craig, welcome back. What's up, guys? How are you doing? Brandon,
Good. Taking a
I
break
was
from film just to focus on a lot of TV shows I've been missing out on. I finally caught up with Severance.
is that show actually good?
Yes.
What's up, Brandon? How you doing though?
I'm doing good too. Just been really busy lately, but been in a good mood the past few days.
So before we get into our main topic of the episode this week, which we're doing Oscar predictions because we're the Oscars, or tomorrow, or technically today when you guys are seeing this episode. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we have watched this week. Sandra, you can go first on this.
I watched the new Gabby Petito documentary, which actually made me sob. I finished Zero Day because who's not going to watch a Robert De Niro show with Angela Bassett as president and him as ex-president? Okay, put your hand down, Brandon, because I actually enjoyed it. Yeah, I've just been on a show kick lately. Haven't been really watching a lot of movies unless they're like rewatches.
Okay. Craig, what have you watched this week?
Two Distant Strangers. I watched Conclave and just finally caught up with Severance.
Okay. Brandon, what have you watched this week?
Looking at, I'll do this like Letterboxd style. My last weekend I watched The Monkey. It was okay. Then I watched the Gorge, that Apple TV movie with Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy, which was a terrible movie. Then I watched Riff Raff, which I think a few of us here got an early screener for because it got a wide release this week. And then 2 days ago I watched The Apprentice with Sebastian Stan and Jeremy Strong, where Sebastian Stan plays Donald Trump.
Okay. So for me this week, I got a couple more movies than I did last week. So I started the week out with Love Hurts. Movie is so trash.
Movie's terrible.
Then I watched The Bayou. It's like a new alligator creature feature. Wasn't that great? Then I don't know if you guys got the screener for this one, but I watched My Dead Friend Zoe.
I
I
really enjoyed that one.
That was
I didn't get the screener for that one though.
That was tragic.
I cried at the end. I'm like, I was bawling.
Not
the very
enough
end of that
Morgan
one.
Freeman.
True. Then I watched Flight
Not enough
Risk.
bald Morgan Freeman.
Bald Morgan Freeman. But then I watched Flight Risk. Speaking of bald Mark Wahlberg in that. I thought it wasn't that bad. It was a little bit corny though. The best
It
thing
was-
about that movie though is Topher Grace.
It was that bad. Topher Grace is just playing Eric Foreman in that movie.
Then I got my second Bong Joon-ho in, and I watched Parasite for the first time, which really good movie.
First time, wow.
Then, of course, I also watched Riff Draft. I thought Riff Draft was actually a pretty good movie.
Riff Raff was fine. I didn't love it, didn't hate it.
I had a fun time
Good.
with that. Not enough Jennifer Coolidge.
It's a pretty. I'm shocked it had such a star-studded cast for a movie like that.
True. Yeah, I was thinking that because this is was made by Roadside Attractions, and the only movies I know they done is the one with Bill Skarsgård that came out last year.
Boy Kills World.
World Kills World. Then they did Summer Camp, and this is the third movie I know that they are doing besides like the Nicolas Cage one that is coming out later this year.
The Surfer?
Yeah.
I'm excited for that one.
But guys, with that being said, let's get into our main topic, which we're going to be talking about Oscar predictions. My three guests on here are mostly, I think, more well-knowledge than I will be today, so I can't wait for the discussions we're going to have with it. So with that being said, let me pull up all the nominees so we can go through it. So guys, how we're going to do it today for this is we're going to go through. We're going to each pick our personal nominees. Then, as a collective group, as a whole, we will pick like what we think that the Academy is actually going to pick for the winner of that category.
Okay.
So I want to let's go down to the lower levels because I don't want to go into our big categories yet. But let's start out with writing original screenplay. So our nominees, we got Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, and The Substance. So Brandon, I will let you go first on this one. What would you pick for your personal winner for this?
My personal pick of these would be Nora because it's my favorite movie of all of these. It's definitely the best movie out of all of these for sure. Even though I do think three of these other screenplays are very good, but I think Nora is definitely the best one, and that's my pick.
What about you, Craig? What would be your pick for this one?
Just based on the title itself, I would give it to The Substance.
What about you, Sandra?
I just know that the winner is going to go to The Brutalist because it's just something about A24 that the Academy really loves and really long movies and Adrian Brody.
So for me, the only one I've seen out of all these is The Substance, but there's two right here that is like really pulling me in for personal, which I heard they have really good screenplays, and that's Nora and Real Pain. But if I had to pick one, I'm taking a shot in the dark right here. I'm going with The Real Pain. But as a collective whole now, for all of us, who do you think the Academy is actually going to pick?
The Brutalist. It just seems like the most obvious one for me.
Do you guys agree with that one, that you think they could pick The Brutalist?
I don't. I think honestly, I believe my pick is the winner. I think that this is going to go to Anora.
What do you think they can go with The Substance, Craig, or you think they would go with Anora or
I
The Brutalist?
would like to see it go to The Substance, but I do think that it is. I think that Anora has a high chance of getting it, and I wouldn't have thought that a few weeks ago. But they recently, what were the three big awards they won for?
It won WGA, which is the Writers Guild.
I think it won SAG, didn't it?
No, Anora won nothing for SAG. That's just acting, though. There's nothing writing about that.
I think it also won producer, a producer award. Yeah. So they'll probably give it to Anora.
At the beginning, I was thinking like with Jalen the Brutalist, but with everything because this Oscar season has like been a toss up so much of drama, it seems like for a lot of these movies. But if you want to do a safe pick, I would agree with Craig and Brandon, and I think they could choose Anora for this just to be a safe pick. Don't cause any controversy. I think that's what they're going to do with this one.
Yeah.
So what were you going to say?
I was just going to add, it didn't really become obvious until like a few weeks ago, I think. Because when the nominations were first announced, I was like, I have no idea where that's going to go.
Very true about that one. So that was the original screenplay. So this is adapted screenplay. So our nominees for this one is A Completely Unknown, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. So, Brandon, what you got for this?
I just love after you said Amelia Perez, Craig just goes. It's deserved though. What's my pick for this?
Yeah.
My personal pick would be Sing Sing because I just think that is a beautiful movie that not enough people saw because A24 absolutely botched the release of it, and I'm still upset with them about it. It's a great story, very well written with amazing characters, and yeah, I just think it's so good, and that's my personal pick here.
Craig, what's your personal pick for this?
I would personally like to see it go to I think out of all of these films, I'll probably go to Conclave. My personal pick would be, even though I haven't seen the film myself, Sing Sing.
What about you, Jalen?
Conclave. I was absolutely enamored by that movie.
So for me, the only one I've seen is a complete unknown, but I know it's just a Bob Dylan thing. But so this is where I'm gonna go. That's not gonna be my personal pick. If I had to do it, I really have heard great things about mostly out of all these movies is Sing Sing. Like you said, Brandon, they really botched the release on this. Like it wasn't released on digital like a couple of weeks ago, and didn't have like a good wide theatrical release like a lot of A24 movies did. It just got like a limited release in like some cities.
Yeah.
But my personal pick would be Sing Sing. If you did, I think the Academy could go with Conclave, but a Shot in the Dark would be a complete unknown because the Academy loves biopics for some reason. I don't know why, because like if you look, it was Bohemian Rhapsody. It won. I don't know if Walk the Line won anything or even got nominated, but that would just be a shot in the dark. But if I had to choose an official one, it would be Conclave that they could pick. So for visual effects, the nominees that we got here is Alien Romulus, Better Man, Doom Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. So Brandon, what would be your personal choice, and what do you think the Academy will pick?
Okay, and I didn't say what I thought would be the winner in adapted. You're good. Just real quick, that category, adapted screenplay, is one of the biggest locks of the night. It's gonna go to Conclave, but my pick would be Sing Sing. But for visual effects, I think these are all solid choices. I didn't see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes because I didn't really feel like watching two other movies to watch that one, but I'll get to it eventually. And this one I think is pretty easy. My personal pick would go to Dune Part 2 because the visuals in that movie, I believe, are just masterful. And I do believe that is where the Academy is going to be leaning as well. That's going to be the winner.
What about for you, Craig?
Same. I saw Dune Part 2 twice in theaters, and the film is just amazing to look at. The landscape and the expansion on the universe as a whole. I think my pick would be Dune Part 2 as well.
What about for you, Sandra?
1000% Dune. And if it's not Dune, then it's Wicked.
So for me, I think my personal pick will be Dune Part 2, and I think the Academy will give it to Dune Part 2. Kind of like Brandon and Craig have said, this movie looks absolutely phenomenal. The only one I have seen out of this list is Better Man. I really don't understand why Alien Romulus is kind of in this category because a lot of it was a whole bunch of like CGI and everything. I thought King of the Planet of the Apes wasn't that bad with it. It was just kind of like the rehash of what Matt Reeves especially done with the last two Planet of the Apes movies. And then Wicked looks good, but it's just I think it could probably win some other categories, but this one is a lock for Dune Part 2, no matter what.
You should watch Better Man, though. It's a great movie.
I've been thinking about I think buying it because I don't know when they're going to drop it on Paramount Plus.
I have no really desire to watch a man portray himself as a monkey.
It's good. Believe me, it's good.
I still don't know who Robbie Williams is, guys.
I didn't know who he was either. I didn't know who Robbie Williams was either, and that movie almost made me cry 3 times.
I've been hearing that it's actually a pretty good movie.
It is really good, bro. Give it a chance. It's good.
I'll probably watch it over this next week. For sound wise, so the nominees we got is A Complete Unknown, Doom Part 2, Amelia Press, oh good grief, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. So Brandon, what is your personal pick, and what do you think the Academy is going to pick for this?
It's for me. This is the same as visual effects. My personal pick is Dune Part 2, and I think that this is going to go to Dune Part 2. Just the sound in that movie is ridiculous. It's overpowering. It's loud, and that's something the Academy likes to do for best sound. They like to pick the loudest movie, which I don't necessarily agree with, but in this case, it's the right choice because Dune has the best sound of all of these.
What about for you, Craig?
First of all, I don't even know why Amelia Perez is in this.
I was thinking the same thing.
Musical, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, there was nothing really all that great about the sound in that movie.
Oh God, I wish I could drown it out. Yeah, Dune Part 2, definitely.
What about for you, Sandra?
Dune, and if it's not Dune, then it's Wicked. So same as the last one.
So I think it's going to be Dune for both picks, Academy and my pick. First of all, I'm going with Craig. Why is Amelia Perez on here? Because, like Brandon says, it's a musical. And I think that's why Complete Unknown's on here. You could have got actually better movies, probably, with better sound this year. Like, for example, Furiosa. You could put Furiosa literally on this list.
Yeah.
I totally even forgot that movie existed.
I will say, even though I didn't like this movie, Civil War would have been an excellent pick to be nominated for best sound. Civil War did have fantastic sound.
True. I do agree with that. So I would take A Complete Unknown out and Amelia Perez put Furiosa, Civil War, and you got actually a pretty good category right there. So did any of y'all go through any of the short films?
I saw all of them.
Not me.
Nah.
I saw you, Brandon.
Yeah, I've seen all 15 of them.
So, Brandon, what would be your pick for live action short film?
These are tough. I really don't have any idea where these will go. But for live action, my personal pick would be I'm Not a Robot. If you guys can find that short, I really recommend it because it's very funny and very well made, very well directed for a short film. But I think where I'd be leaning right now, I think the winner is going to be Alien because it's a movie about a woman like a white woman, and she goes with her husband who's Hispanic to like the immigration offices to get a green card, and they're intercepted by ICE. So it's very timely. And I feel like that's definitely going to be the winner right now. But I would personally give it to I'm Not a Robot. I thought that was the best one here.
Okay. I definitely going to have to watch these short films sometime. Then production design. So we're getting to a closer to, I think, some of the best categories in this a little bit because we started down a little bit. So production design. The nominees we got is The Brutalist, Conclave, Doom Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. So, Brandon, what is your pick on this one?
So, this is a really good category, I think, because all of these movies do have, really good production design. But a few months ago, I probably would have said The Brutalist, since that's a movie about architecture. But my personal pick would be Dune Part 2 because the first movie won production design when that was nominated. And I think the production design is just as good in Part 2, if not better. but the winner is going to be Wicked.
Oh, okay. So, Craig, what you got for this one?
Same, actually. I think that Dune Part 2 eclipses and not only a lot of departments, costume, production, sound.
What about for you, Sandra?
Dune Part 2, and if it's not them, then it's Wicked. So same as the last three categories.
So I'm gonna throw a curveball right here. My personal pick for this one, Nosferatu, but the Academy will go with Dune Part 2. I think if you had, because is this like only, is there only 2 nominees that Nosferatu got? Was this and was it costume?
No, it got cinematography too.
Oh yeah, true. I can't wait for that category to talk about that one. But we're gonna go with okay. Yeah, we're going.
We're not going to do that one yet.
Yeah, we're not going. Right, this one. Music. This is the worst category of all time for music. Music original song. We got El Ma from Amelia Perez. We go. I don't even know we got 2 songs from Amelia Perez. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not going to even say their names
I'm
again.
skipping this category.
The Journey, which that is, what is that from? I haven't even heard of that picture.
688.
Then we got Like a Bird from Sing Sing, and then we got Never Too Late, Elton John. Brain, what you got for this one?
Yeah, this is a very stinky category because there are 2 Amelia Perez songs, and I cannot tell you what either of those songs sound like because there is not a single good song in that entire movie, which is a problem if you're a musical. And I made a video about this today. The Journey is a song by Diane Warren. Diane Warren has been nominated for an Oscar 16 times in this category. She's been nominated now 8 years in a row for this category for very mediocre songs in movies that nobody watched. So just got to point that out. But my personal pick would be Like a Bird from Sing Sing because that is a good song. It plays right at the end of the movie and it's very beautiful and it fits the scene that it's in very well. However, unfortunately, this is one of the bigger locks of the night. This is going to go to El Mal for Amelia Perez.
Craig, do you got any picks for this one?
I would like to see it go to the Wild Robot. The way the score and the music made me feel like I was a kid again watching a lot of my favorite Pixar films. And that's why I loved Wild Robot so much. It made me feel like a kid again. But unfortunately, like Brandon said, they're going to give it to that raggedy piece of shit film.
I'm not going to talk about anything. I watched any of these movies, and I don't know if I'm ever going to watch Amelia Perez.
You're not missing anything. You don't
that's
have
going
to.
to be the question. They don't got music, original score, which, you got the movie on here still. So the nominees are The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, The Wild Robot, and Wicked. So, Brandon, what you got right here?
Well, what I have is the best score of the year. Challengers was not nominated here. And Craig, I know you didn't care for that movie, but the score in Challengers is a banger and it should be here. So that would be my winner. What?
I agree.
Okay, good. We can at least agree there. But these are still good scores. I do love the scores for The Brutalist and Conclave. The Wild Robot has a good score too. I don't understand the Wicked pick since that's music that kind of already existed. That kind of confused me. But of these nominees, my personal pick would be The Brutalist, and I do believe that that is what is going to come out on top.
What about for you, Craig?
I swear to God, if they give it to Amelia Perez.
They're not going to, don't worry.
I think it's going to go to The Brutalist, but I would like to see it go to the Wild Robot. But like Brandon said, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Challengers, I just don't like the way the story is told narratively. But the way the movie is shot is beautiful, and it definitely should got a original score nomination. But I'd like to see it go to the Wild Robot, but unfortunately, it's either gonna go to the Brutalist or Conclave.
What about you, Sandra?
I think my personal pick is Wicked, but I think it's going to go to Conclave just because people love those types of movies.
So I can't pick on this one because I've only seen one movie out of these. But I got a little rant coming on right now. You could take two of these out right now. You could take Wicked out, and you could take Conclave out. Not Conclave, but Amelia Perez. Leave Conclave. Take that piece of shit out of here. You can put two. I agree with Greg and Brandon. You should put Challengers in here. The other one they should have, and the Academy is so fucking dirty for this one, is Doom Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Doom Part 2 should have been in here. There's like 1 to 2 songs on that movie, on the whole entire score that sounds like the first one. All the other stuff is original stuff by Hans Zimmer. And if this was in here, Doom Part 2 would have won this original score no matter what.
Yeah. If you haven't heard the score for The Brutalist, though, it is very good. Just the opening song in the very first scene is beautiful. It's very, very good.
I'm gonna try to watch that movie though. I might try to watch it tomorrow before that.
You got to cut out a chunk of your day to watch The Brutalist, bro.
I'm off work tomorrow, so I got plenty of time.
Just wake up as early as you can.
But for our next category, we got makeup and hair design. The nominees we got is A Different Man, Amelia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. Brandon, what you got for this?
I really like this category, aside from the obvious. But I like seeing A Different Man in here because that's a good choice for this category. But I think this is also one of the biggest locks of the night. My personal pick is The Substance, and that is what is going to win. It's going to go to The Substance.
What you got, Craig?
Same, but I would like to see it go to Nosferatu.
What about you, Sandra?
I'd like to see A Different Man win it, but I think it's going to go to Wicked.
So I would love to see this go to Nosferatu so bad. I need that movie to win an award, but I agree with Brandon. I think The Substance is actually going to get this thing. Did you guys watch all the international films?
I've only seen 3 of them.
Okay, so Brandon, take your pick from the 3 you have watched, at least.
So when these were announced, I thought that this was the biggest lock of locks. I thought this was going to go to Amelia Perez because I was like, they love this movie. It got 13 nominations, but then all of the controversy came out surrounding it, and I think that really killed it. So my personal pick would be I'm Still Here from Brazil, and honestly, I think that is going to win. I don't think Amelia Perez is winning anymore.
So, Craig, what you got for this one?
As long as Amelia Perez does not win, I am happy. But I need to watch these films within the next couple of days because the only one I've seen on this list is Amelia Perez. But shout out to Brandon because he got a ton of traction for his I'm Still Here review.
I did, yeah. I've made the country of Brazil very happy.
Sandra, what's your pick?
Not Anatomy of a Fall, but I guess I'm Still Here.
So I haven't seen any of these, but I've been hearing so good things about I'm Still Here, and it got and like that and like that piece of thing, Amelia Perez got the best picture noms. But if you had to choose the one of those two, because I heard all these films are great. I heard The Girl with the Needle was it's great, but it's absolutely disturbing. But I think I'm Still Here would actually win this thing.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Still Here is nominated for Best Picture, so that's another reason I think it's going to take it.
So our next category, we got film editing. So the nominees are Nora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, and Wicked. So Brandon, what you got for this one?
So it's kind of a hard category to judge because I can only imagine how difficult it is to edit a 3.5-hour movie. But my personal pick for this would be film edit or film. Obviously, that's the category. Would be Nora because I have respect for Sean Baker because he edits all his own movies, and I really like that, and he did a really good job. But my prediction where the Academy is going to go is Conclave.
What about for you, Craig?
I think for this one, it's probably going to go to The Brutalist.
What about you, Sandra?
My personal pick is Conclave, but somehow I think Amelia Perez is going to win something.
So I'm going to skip this category. The only one I've seen is Wicked, and the film editing in that movie just looked like if somebody just took a normal film and edited it. But for our next category, Brandon, are you the only one that watched the documentary short films?
I would imagine so.
So you can talk about this category.
This was the weakest block of all of them. I was very underwhelmed by a few of these. 3 of these handle very, very heavy subject matter. Death by Numbers is about a victim of the Parkland school shooting a few years ago. I Am Ready Warden is about a death row inmate in the days leading up to his execution. An Incident is a really unique documentary that shows the murder of a black man by police in Chicago, and it's all told through body cam and CCTV footage. Instruments of a Beating Heart was underwhelming. It's not good enough to warrant this. It's just about little kids learning a song in Japan. The Only Girl in the Orchestra is that one was very boring. But my personal pick for this one would be I Am Ready Warden. I don't really have any strong feelings about them. I think that's going to be the winner, but I wouldn't be surprised if The Only Girl in the Orchestra won because it's a Netflix is behind it. So if it went that way, it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay. So for our next one, did any of us watch the documentary like long films, like feature films wise?
Honestly, I haven't seen any of these. I do have a pick though.
Okay, what's your pick for it at least?
I think it's gonna go to No Other Land because that's about the conflict between Israel and Palestine. And the past few years, the Academy has picked these documentaries that have been very current and topical because last year 20 Days in Mariupol won, which was about the war between Russia and Ukraine. Really good documentary, but very heavy watch. So I would not recommend watching it unless you can handle it. But I think No Other Land is going to take it since it's a very topical subject.
Craig or Sandra, do you guys got any?
I do not.
I have not seen any of these, but I will say that Brandon recommended a short film for me that didn't get nominated that I think should have, and that's Daughters, which is on Netflix. And I was like, why would you do this to me? I'm over here damn near crying my eyes out.
Daughters is really good. There were a lot of really good Netflix documentaries last year that didn't get nominated. I was really disappointed.
So for our next one, let me see. Okay, we're going to skip director for right now. So next is our costume design. So we got the nominees are A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. Brandon, what you got for this one?
Kind of an underwhelming category, I think. I don't really understand what's so special about the costumes and a complete unknown, but that's just me. I think of these, my personal pick would probably be Nosferatu, because I just like the gothic sort of era that it's going for. But this one is the winner is going to be Wicked.
What about you, Craig?
I would say Wicked. I would like for it to go to that because it's very colorful and whimsical and pops and it matches the tone of the film and it looks great. So I think that it might go to Wicked.
What about you, Sandra?
My personal pick is Gladiator 2, just because I love anything in the Roman era. But I think Wicked's going to take it.
So my personal pick and my academy pick is Nosferatu, and this is where I'm gonna go. We're gonna get Wicked Part 2 next year, or this coming November, right? So technically that's Part 2, so it still has a chance to get this if it gets nominated next year. So with that being said, they could just give it to Nosferatu because Wicked still has a chance.
It could. I mean, Black Panther won costumes both times, so
True. But like you were saying, I love the gothic, like not only like gothic, but like the old historian times of the costumes of what they did with Nosferatu. And I think that's just the power of what Eggers put into the film, like making it the way he wanted to. But for our next one, we got cinematography, which there's only two good picks I like off this thing. But the nominees are The Brutalist, Doom Part 2, Amelia Perez,
Ugh.
Maria, and Nosferatu. So, Brandon, what you got?
So I haven't seen Maria. There's usually like one curveball pick in cinematography, and it's that one this year because I don't know many people who watched Maria. But The Brutalist, Dune, and Nosferatu are all stupendous picks. All of those have beautiful cinematography. But it's really tough to say what my pick would be because Nosferatu, it had some of the best cinematography of the year, but so did Dune Part 2, and that won, but Dune won a few years ago for best cinematography. So it's kind of neck and neck for my picks for those two. However, the winner is going to be The Brutalist.
What about for you, Craig?
Well, first of all, they need to take out Amelia Perez and replace it with Challengers.
Challengers did have good cinematography.
Yeah, they actually did.
Oh my god. I would love for it to go to Nosferatu. I cannot keep my eyes off of that film. That film is shot so beautifully, and Robert Eggers has a great eye for his cinematographers, and the whole time it felt like the camera felt like a character in the film. So I think it should go to Nosferatu.
What about you, Sandra?
I'd like it to go to Maria just because I really enjoyed that movie and it made me sob. But I do think it goes to Dune Part 2.
So my pick and what I think the Academy is going to pick is Doom Part 2 because you got to think Greg Fraser has choose the Batman Part 2 over Doom Messiah. So we don't even know how Doom Messiah is going to look and who the cinematographer is going to be. So I can see them giving back-to-back movies just in case if Messiah don't get it. But if they did pick Nosferatu, I would not be mad because I think the best shot, everyone likes the ending shot of that whole entire movie with both of them in bed. But when Nicholas Hoult is standing in the crossroads and you see the moonlight coming down, that's one of the best shots in that movie. I literally just watched that scene the other day just so I could see that again. But
The final shot's really good too.
I like the final shot, but that crossroads shot just
It's a
amazes
good
me
one, yeah.
every time I see it. For our next, Brandon, I guess this is your category too.
Okay. I liked 4 of these a lot. The weakest one to me was Beautiful Men. All of these were good in their own right. In the Shadow of the Cypress doesn't have any dialogue. That's all visual storytelling. Magic Candies is Japanese, and Yuck is French, I believe. Wander to Wonder is British. And I've seen someone say this might pique your guys' interest, but someone said Wander to Wonder is like if Toy Story was directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. Like, that is a very, very accurate way of putting it. So if that piques your interest, then check that one out. It's tough for me to call this one. I think it'll go to Yuck, and that's my favorite of these. I thought that was the best and sweetest one of all of these. It's very lighthearted. It can appeal to adults and kids. So that would be my pick and prediction.
So where that's being said, let's go to our next one, which we got animated feature film. So the nominees for this one are Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance the Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. Brandon, what's your picks?
So I think this is a really strong category. I never got around to watching Memoir of a Snail, unfortunately. I'll watch it eventually, but I heard really good things. I would have said a while ago that Flow was going to be the winner, but I really think it's going to go to The Wild Robot, and that would be my pick. And that's my prediction as well. But that I would love to see Wallace and Gromit win, just because I love Wallace and Gromit. Those characters in those movies just make me very happy. It's not going to win, though. It's going to go to The Wild Robot, and that would be my pick.
What about for you, Craig?
The Wild Robot. That ended up in my top 10 of films last year. And I haven't seen the rest. I still need to see the rest of the films nominated, but The Wild Robot.
What about you, Sandra?
Inside Out for me.
What do you think the Academy's going to pick?
Probably Inside Out. They love their Disney films.
You're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, Inside Out's not winning.
So the only one I've seen of this is Inside Out 2, but I'm going to go with both of my picks. I haven't seen it, though. Everyone in my family has seen it, and they said it's very good, and that is The Wild Robot. I'm going to try to catch this. I just didn't get to it because when the time it actually came out, that's when the hurricane hit down here, so I didn't get a chance to see it, but I know it's available on Peacock right now, so that's probably another movie I'm going to try to watch before the award show tomorrow. So, I think are we right at the end? Yeah.
Looks like it, yep.
So let's just go right into the supporting roles before we go. So actress in the supporting role. The nominees we got is I forgot her name. Monica Barbaro, Ariana Grande, Felicity Jones, Isabella Rossellini, and then Zoe Saldana. Oh no! So Brandon, what you got on this one?
Yeah, this one is going to be one of the stinkers. My personal pick for this category would be Ariana Grande, but going back to what you said, I don't know if this will be her only chance because Dune for Good is coming out later this year, so she could be nominated again. But this is one of the biggest locks of the night. It's going to go to Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez, unfortunately, because she's been sweeping everything. I don't think she's lost at any of the award shows, and I don't know why, because her performance really wasn't anything special, and she was the best part of a terrible movie, and I don't think you should be rewarded for being the best part of a terrible movie.
What about you, Craig?
This category is so terrible It makes me want to throw up just looking at it. Honestly, I take out. There's two people in here I take out. I take out Monica and put in Rebecca Ferguson for Dune Part 2, and I take out Zoe and replace her with I'm blanking. I just have
Zendaya.
in my head. Say it again.
Zendaya.
That'd be lead.
Yeah, for Dune, I would consider her more leading, but they would, if she was,
She would have had a better chance in supporting,
for
in my
Dune,
opinion.
yeah, for Dune it would have been supporting. For Challengers, it would have been lead.
Yeah, I would have
been double nominated.
It's happened.
Yeah, I would have took both of them out and replaced them with Zendaya and Rebecca for Dune Part 2, but this one, I really wanted to go to Ariana Grande for Wicked, but I'm gonna be having nightmares again because they're gonna give it to this shitty performance in this shitty movie on a shitty streaming service.
Tell us how you really feel.
Sandra, what's your pick?
I'm still mad they didn't want to nominate his three daughters for one single acting performance, but whatever. I would love Ariana Grande to win because she really gave her all to it. Like, she literally changed her voice for the role. But I feel like Isabella Rossellini might win this. Just like, I don't know. It's giving me like Jamie Lee Curtis vibes that it's like her time now.
So, my pick for this is Ariana Grande. And I think this is going to be the shock. I think Ariana Grande is actually going to win this thing. I think Academy's going to give it to her.
That'd be amazing if they did.
Because I'm just have a feeling that even though all the standards not against like towards like Zoe Saldana, I'm wondering if besides like El Mal, they're gonna try to push away from this movie as much as possible. And the best choice for that is popular at this point is Ariana Grande.
Well, she's kind of distanced herself from all the controversy, though, so I think that's why she wasn't really affected by it.
They might, to be honest, they might give it to her because you gotta think Zoe Saldana has been in. She's been in the three top grossing movies of all time, and I don't know if Academy loves stuff like that, and especially because we don't know how much Fire and Ash is gonna make, but it's probably gonna make a lot, so they're probably just going to probably throw that out to her.
Yeah. I think it'll make $1 billion. I don't see why it wouldn't.
I don't like this movie, but they should have given it to her for the first Avatar and not this raggedy piece of crap.
I hope you're right, though, Dakota. I think she's absolutely going to win it, but if they pull a shocker and say, like, nope, we're giving it to Ariana Grande, I will be jumping up and down on my bed.
Oh, I'll be screaming. But then we got actor in a supporting role. We got Yorio Borslav for Nora, Kieran Culkin, Edward Norton, Guy Pearce, and Jeremy Strong. So, Brandon, what's your pick?
This is a strong category, I think, except for Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown. He was good in that movie, but nothing awards worthy. But yeah, just like actress in a supporting role, this is a lock of all locks. This is going to Kieran Culkin, and he would be my pick as well. Guy Pearce would be a very, very close second, but just like Zoe Saldana, Kieran Culkin's been sweeping everything. He hasn't lost. This is his.
Craig, what's your pick?
Same thing. Kieran Culkin, he's been sweeping lately during award season, and he was phenomenal. And And it's definitely going to go to him.
Sandra?
Maybe Guy Pearce. I don't know. I think they just want to play it safe, which is what they usually do.
So I'm gonna pick Kieran Culkin because, kind of like Craig has said, he has got the award at every award ceremony this year. So, like Brandon said, that kind of is a lock for it at this point. If you have won at every award ceremony and you don't win at the Oscars, it kind of looks like there's some shady stuff going on at the Academy. So it's got to be a lock for Kieran Culkin.
That's exactly what I was saying last year when they screwed over Lily Gladstone.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of that.
That was understandable though, because Emma Stone was stupendous in Poor Things.
So let's do actress in the leading role right now. So the nominees are Cynthia Erivo, Carlos Sofia Gaston, Maggie Madison, Demi Moore, and I don't want to butcher the last one. I'm sorry.
Fernanda Torres.
Fernanda Torres. Brandon, what's your pick?
It was just that pause before you read her name. You were like, ugh. So this is a good category, I think, except for the obvious. But in this category is a weird one because I think this is 50-50. This could go either way. This is a 2-horse race between Mikey Madison and Demi Moore. My personal pick is Mikey Madison. I think she gave the best performance here. And Demi Moore, honestly, I think I would put Fernanda Torres above Demi Moore for the performances here. But my prediction is Mikey Madison. I think she will win it. But if Demi Moore does win it, I won't be surprised. It's between those two.
Craig, what about you?
I think that it's pretty much a lock-in for Demi Moore. But, I mean, if Mikey wins, I'll be fine with that. But isn't there like a statistic that not a lot of people born in the 90s have
legacy wins?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something else I was gonna say, because they do love to give legacy wins, even if they don't necessarily deserve it for the movie they're winning for. They do like doing that.
If you're below 40, your chances of winning it are lower.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sandra, what's your pick?
I think Demi Moore is going to get the legacy win or Fernanda Torres. But, I mean, I would have taken out Carla and put in Angelina Jolie for Maria, but whatever.
Carla, go be successful. Oh. So, my pick would be Mike Madison all the way. Would I be mad that Demi Moore won? No, because I do like the substance. But Sandra was talking about taking somebody out, putting somebody in. So take Carla Gofia Sasson out of the fucking here and put Zendaya in this category.
Or I would take her out and put in another choice I have is take her out and put in Lily Rose Depp for Nosferatu.
I do like that pick too.
That's one of those horror nominations I can get behind, because the people that said Sydney Sweeney should have been nominated for Immaculate are out of their damn minds.
What crack pipe are they smoking out of?
The crack pipe of recency bias. Because as soon as that movie came out, I heard all this Oscar buzz from just horror creators. Then 2 weeks later, no one was talking about that movie.
They only like the movie because she's attractive.
She is. It's a fine movie.
Where this is the category where I'm gonna go controversial on this one. So actor in a leading role, we got the nominees are Adrian Brody, Timothy Chalamet, Coleman Domingo, Ralph Fiennes, and Sebastian Stan. So Brandon, what you got for this?
All right, this is one of the stronger categories here because I think all of these performances are excellent, truly. And I have been on the Coleman Domingo hype train since I saw that movie last year. And he remained my favorite performance of 2024. I think he gave the best performance of 2024 by a long shot. I didn't think it was particularly close. Unfortunately, he's not winning. He does not stand a chance. This is another 2-horse race between Adrian Brody and Timothy Chalamet. I wouldn't be shocked if Timothy Chalamet won, but I think the winner is going to be Adrian Brody.
Craig, what you got?
I would like to see it go to Timothy. I have not seen. I'm burnt out from biopics, so it's gonna be a while before I watch that. And I think he was nominated for the wrong film. It should have been Dune Part 2, not A Complete Unknown. But I'm rooting for Coleman Domingo because he's black.
Sandra, what you pick?
Another legacy win for this. Adrian Brody or Ralph Fiennes. I really liked Ralph Fiennes. I really like Conclave. Sebastian Stan, babes, I'm sorry, you don't got a chance. Maybe next year. Or the next year after that.
He was so good, though.
I like him in The Different Man. I didn't see The Apprentice because I didn't want to see somebody making fun of.
The Apprentice is a fine movie, but Sebastian Stan is great. And I love seeing Ralph Fiennes nominated, too. So this is definitely the best one.
So my pick, both ways, Timothy Chalamet. You know why? I think right here you got the perfect thing of where the allegations of the AI has came up in the Brutalist, and with Adrian Brody right here being the youngest person to ever win the actor in the lead role Oscar. And if Timmy wins it right here, it would be a big old fuck you to him because it would not come out and put Timmy right there.
Could go either way.
So I think Timmy will win. I think it's going to shock. I think a lot of people. I think besides like the film, like us film talkers and like gurus and stuff, I think just like the normal audience will probably think Adrian Brody because of all the like hype and like the media and stuff. But I think it's going to shock everybody tomorrow when Timothy Chalamet walks out of that award show as the winner for lead actor.
I wouldn't be mad if he won. He does a good job picking the movies that he's in.
So we got 2 more categories left. We got, before we get to Best Picture, let's talk about directed. So the nominees are Sean Baker, Brady Corbett, or Corbet, whatever you want to call him, James Mangold, Jirac, I don't know what his name is.
Jirac Obama.
Then Brandon, how you say her name? Who directs The Substance?
Coralie Farja.
Yeah. So what's your pick for this one?
This is a weird category because even though I like To Complete Unknown, James Mangold does not belong in here, and neither does Jacques Audiard. You got to get some Denis Villeneuve in here, but neither of those guys deserved it. This is another 2-horse race. This is between Sean Baker and Brady Corbet. It could go to either one, but my pick and prediction is Sean Baker.
What about you, Craig?
The fact that Dennis, how do you pronounce his last name? Villeneuve. Yeah, the fact that he's not in this category, that is completely ridiculous. It's either gonna go to Sean Baker or probably the director of not The Substance, but The Brutalist.
Brady Corbet.
Yeah, it's down to those two.
So, Sandra, what's your pick?
I think they're gonna do it safe and do The Brutalist.
So, I think they're going to pick Sean Baker on this one. I think he is a lock for this one. I don't know because even though they have said the AI stuff is not technically like in this movie, I don't know if that has hurt the chances of this. And a lot of people don't like Brady Corbet for some reason. I don't know why. So I think especially the Oscars love, and I'm gonna go back with Timmy on this one. They love people who give speeches, like good speeches. Like Brandon Fraser won, and he
Mhm.
gave a good speech. So, and you see how Sean Baker gave that speech talking about independent film and how it's going that
Yeah.
way. So I think they could go with him. And I think that's why they can go with Timmy also, because I think that speech he had, even though some people said, oh, yeah, he was just being cocky, all that, it was just him saying his thoughts that he wants to be successful. And I think that's aspiring, I think, to the Academy, because it shows, like, if these two can win it and they got some good speeches, that's what's going to be solidified for all year. And that's what is going to not solidify for only them and their movies, but all these upcoming like directors and actors that want to be like that. That will inspire them more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm gonna go with Sean Baker for Nora.
Just
But
going back what you said about never finished thought. It's not important.
no, you can go, Brandon.
No, it's. I was just gonna make a joke, but you could finish what you were gonna say.
But if I had to take some of these directors, I would take Jayark and James Mangold out, and I will put Denis Villeneuve. And the other one I'll pick is there's two, but I gotta go with him because none of this got nominated in this, and that is George Miller for Furiosa. But if I had another pick, I would pick Luca for Challengers.
It's a good one too.
But for our last category, we got Best Picture. Where the hell is it on this thing?
It was down towards the bottom.
What the? That's the worst they ever to put it down at the bottom of this website.
I don't know why it's down there, but
Okay, here we
There it
go.
is.
Best Picture. The nominees are Anora, The Brutalist, A Completely Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, Wicked. Yeah, that's it. I thought there was more. So, Brandon, what's your pick on this one?
Oh well, it's obvious. I think you guys should know what my pick is because I think everyone's going to agree. My pick is Dune Part 2. That has been my pick since February of last year, but it's not going to win it, unfortunately. I would really like it to. Maybe Dune Messiah will. We'll see. But yeah, my prediction is Anora. I think Anora has this pretty much on lock. I wouldn't be shocked if something else won, like maybe The Brutalist. And I've heard some people believe that A Complete Unknown might even win. But I think it's going to go to Anora because that won Directors Guild, Producers Guild, and Writers Guild. And from what I heard, the only movie in history that has won those three awards and didn't win Best Picture was Brokeback Mountain. So it does not happen very often that the movie that wins those precursors doesn't win Best Picture. So I think it'll be Anora.
What about for you, Craig?
Two of these films, I think Nosferatu and Challengers should have gotten in for this. I would like for it to go to Dune Part 2, but if the movie that I think is going to win wins, I hope to get booed out of the freaking arena. Out of the stadium. It's probably going to be one of the worst Oscar wins since Green Book. But I think The Brutalist is going to win.
Okay. I mean, don't even manifest it, Craig. Don't say that movie's going to win Best
You
Picture.
said booed? I thought that you were going to say Billy Perez at first.
I've never heard of that film ever in my life.
You were saying like you think they should boo The Brutalist?
No, that other film. That
Okay.
That
Just
Dakota
making sure.
Okay, I thought you said booing The Brutalist. I thought, when did this happen? So, Sandra, what's your pick?
I'd like Dune Part 2 to win, but I think Conclave or The Brutalist is taking it.
So my pick is Dune Part 2, but the Academy will go with Anora. I think Anora's got everything just going for it. I think if this is how it's going to go, I think if Mikey Madison wins and Sean Baker wins, Anora's got this thing. But
That's weird, though.
You're right.
Because like if you win director, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win Best Picture. Because I mean, Damien Chazelle won Best Director for La La Land, and then Moonlight won Best Picture. So it can go any way.
Because the only one that I've seen like movie that won director and Best Picture like recently since I got into this, of course, is last year with Nolan, where he won Best Director and Oppenheimer won.
Mm-hmm.
But
he should have won a long time ago.
True. Hopefully
he won it for. I think he deserved it for Oppenheimer, though.
I was going to say I hope he wins it again in 2 years, but what he has to go against in 2026 is going to be something else. I don't know if he can pull that out.
For the Odyssey, that's going to be good.
That because, of course, you got the need with Doom Messiah supposed to be coming out that same year.
Well, they seem to hate Denis for some reason, so...
No, what excites me is because, remember, last year, that was supposed to be the Oscar race that everyone thought about was supposed to be Dune versus Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm. Well, the fact that Dune Part 2 only got half as many nominations as Dune Part 1 is a little ridiculous. Because the first Dune got 10, and this Part 2 only got 5. And I find that kind of insane.
I'm just wondering because where's a part 2 of a 2-part movie? That's why they're doing it. So I'm wondering when Messiah comes out, because technically it'll be even though this is the third movie in the little trilogy they got, it's technically the second book in the series. So it's going to be its whole totally different theme. So I think it could get a lot more nominations than probably even part 1, to be honest.
It'd be like a Return of the King. That'd be nice.
But guys, that is it for our Oscar predictions and the episode. So Brandon, Craig, Sandra, thank you for joining me on this episode to talk about the Oscar predictions.
Thanks for having us.
No problem.
So guys, I will put everyone's links down below, and I will even put Craig and Sandra's podcast link and their newsletter link down below, so you guys could go check that out. But go follow them on everything, their social medias, their podcasts. They're great film talkers that I know, and you guys will love them also. But guys, if you are new here and you're listening to the podcast, give us a 5-star rating. And if you guys want to stay here, hit that follow button. But comment down below if you want to, what's your picks for the Oscars this year, and do that same thing. Comment down below on the video version of what your picks are for this. Hit that like button if you like this episode, and if you want to stay with us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification, because it will tell you guys whenever we post review episodes or podcast episodes and shorts. And also follow us on social media, which I'm going to fix this real quick so you guys can see this. Our username trap there at the Cinematic Boys Podcast. So go follow us on TikTok and Instagram for all the clips and everything. I want to talk about a little bit. So you guys are actually going to be getting 2 episodes this week. So we've done the predictions today. We're going to actually be doing a recap episode later in the week about the Oscars. But I will let you guys know on the social media what the review this is going to be this week. But guys, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.